Okay, so good afternoon. Once again, my name is Jason Weisberg. I am the Executive Vice President here at Value Line, responsible for sales and marketing of our research. I want to thank you for taking a few minutes this morning to join me. We do this monthly for our professional customers and also our prospective customers. Today's webinar is a popular one. We're going to talk about our Select Portfolio series. Those are three portfolios that are available on a subscription basis, and we're going to kind of take a little dive into each of those and explain why it may be a good fit. A few housekeeping items before we begin. First, the webinars usually run about 20 minutes or so. We don't want to take up a lot of your time. You can get a hold of us for any questions. If you look on your screen here at valuelinepro.com, just come to the customer service portal right here and click on contact us, and feel free to submit any questions you might have, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. If you are an existing customer, of course, please reach out to your institutional specialist, and they can also help you answer any questions you may have. For the portfolios we're going to go over, we do offer a sample of the portfolios. So again, after the presentation, if you're interested in seeing the portfolios in detail, just contact us and we'll be happy to send you the current report of each portfolio out there. So with that said, let's kind of jump on over. If you look on your screen, you'll see now I have up the actual Value Line Pro site, and I'm on the dashboard page. The three portfolios we're going to talk about are right here: the Select, the Dividend Income and Growth, and the Special Situations, which is right above that. So kind of fix that here. So these three: Special Situations, Select, and Dividend Income and Growth. Those are three additional portfolios. They are included in our Pro Equity Research Center package. So if you do have that, you'll be able to get access to those portfolios included. And that's obviously the most cost-effective solution if you're interested in our entire stock universe for research reports, plus all the portfolios we offer. The Pro Equity Research Center is what you'd want to take a look at. If you don't have that and you want to subscribe, you could also subscribe to each one of these a la carte. So let's say you have our Pro Premium service now or are interested in that, you could also add on one or all three of these portfolios. We do offer discounts for the more you purchase, but for pricing, please contact us and we'll let you know the pricing we can do for the model portfolios. And as a reminder, with every research subscription, just to remind you, we do offer the core 4 portfolios. So if you go under Find Ideas and you take a look at here, the Model Portfolio tab, these 4 portfolios are available on every level of subscription. And those are portfolios 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. And hopefully you're aware of those if you're a current client, and if not, your prospective client. We could also give you some information on those, but for today's purposes, we're not going to focus on those core 4 that come with the subscription. So let's start off with the Value Line Select portfolio. So if again, under Find Ideas here, I went on the navigation, and then right here is the Select. We'll pull that one up first and kind of take a little look at the Select portfolio. So the Value Line Select portfolio is a monthly portfolio. In each month, we're going to choose a stock from the 1700 universe that's in our Value Line Select, our Value Line Investment Survey. We conduct some qualitative research. We're going to dig deeper into the operations and prospects of the most promising companies we can find. We're going to also assess the economic and industry outlook, as well as the competition for those companies in our universe. And then finally, we're going to project into the future some financial results to derive the month's recommendation stock's target price. So again, this is a monthly portfolio. Each month we release a new report. You can see on your screen the June report is out. Now, the Value Line universe of 1,700 companies, if you're not aware, includes many analyst-covered equities, but only one stock, as I mentioned, is chosen each month. We're going to take a deep dive into that company. We're going to offer a 15 to 25-page report on that specific stock that's done by our senior analyst. One of our senior analysts is going to write that report. Our committee of experts are going to use in-depth fundamental research as well as some proprietary tools to choose, again, that one company that has reasonable risk and a maximum total return. We're also going to offer a bonus recommendation in these, an alternative to the main selection. The bonus recommendation is going to be an equity from a lesser known company with smaller market cap and a higher risk profile containing more upside potential than, say, the main equity selection. So if we take a look at this, again, these are the supplementary reports of previous recommendations. If you see on the screen also here, you can go back to previous reports right here. But let's just take a look at the current one, which is Costco. So if I click on that and I open up the PDF, and make sure it opens up within the screen here, okay. And let me just share, I think it is shared here. Hopefully you can see that on the screen here. As I scroll through it, you can see we're going to go into a 18-page report on Costco Wholesale Corporation. We're going to give you some general information, just like you would find in any research. We would go into an in-depth background of the company. And as I scroll through it, you can just see, earnings opportunities and shares catalysts as a category they're going to talk about. And I'm just going through so we can get down further to where we want to be here for today's purposes. Talk about the stock itself. Obviously, we're going to give the opinion of what the stock is going to do. And if I jump ahead here, just bear with me as we scroll through. We'll talk about a strategy that we have with it. Obviously, Costco membership. We're going to go into the competition part, where we're going to talk about the competitive part of their company, the management of the company as well. Obviously, in this day and age, we're going to mention COVID-19 and what effects that might be having on it. And as we scroll through some earnings and projections, we talk about the risks, obviously, of this specific company, and then we give you an overall summary and conclusion. Okay. And then as we go on, you'll see some financial statement data in here, as well as balance sheet information, income statement information, such as that, for some historical data information we'll put in here as well. And again, I'm quickly scrolling through this, and if you do have an interest, we can send you this report. But the whole point is, we just wanted to show you that it's a simple PDF format of a report. We're going to take a deep dive into it. And then again, if there's any supplementaries behind that, we're going to issue supplementary reports right here on the main page. And if I come over here and click on previous recommendations, we'll pull up a list of all those companies that we previously recommended and the dates that we did that on. So if you want to go back, in essence, what you're doing is, it is a model portfolio in itself, where once a month we're going to grab one company, we're going to take a deep dive. This is what you want to do. And then let's say 12 times a year, you're going to have 12 companies that represent a portfolio. We do track the performance of the companies and the portfolio as a whole, and we do issue that on a monthly basis. So, overall, that's the Select service. And again, let me jump back over to this other screen. Everything is under ValueLinePro.com. If you come to more model portfolios and managed portfolios, it'll talk more in depth about, here's the core four you can see on your screen, and then I'll scroll down and we'll give you a blurb here on, here's the Select. We're going to talk about next the dividend income and growth, and then you'll have your special situations down here. So you can find more information as well, what I'm talking about, at ValueLinePro.com. Okay, so let's go into the next one. The next one is the dividend income and growth. And again, you can find that under the Find Ideas tabs right here, dividend income and growth. So if we click on that, We'll pull up that report here, and June's report is Taiwan Semiconductor. Again, somewhat like the Value Line Select portfolio, this is a monthly service as well. And what we'll do is we'll take a deep dive into a company, but the difference is we're going to specialize in income and growth, just like the name suggests. So each month you're going to receive a featured stock, okay, with some supported in-depth research every month. Again, once a month, we'll grab a stock. It's one of our premier equity-focused publications, this one. It's a very popular one. Out of all the select series, I think it is probably the most popular. So we're going to issue one monthly featured stock recommendation and two alternative highlighted equity recommendations each month. The analysts, our statisticians, and economists are going to seek to recommend a high-quality stock that's expected to provide above average current income with appealing long-term dividend growth. And that's the whole point. The dividend yields are greater than the average of all the stocks covered by Value Line. Further, our analysts have a preference for companies that have consistently increased their dividends above the rate of inflation over the long term. So based on Value Line's analysis, these recommendations have the financial strength to both support and increase dividend payments in the future. These recommendations, as I mentioned, are backed by in-depth research report and subject to ongoing monitoring by the research department. And just like you see on your screen, like the Select, we're going to have the current month's recommendation. You're going to be able to go back and look at previous recommendations and then supplementary reports for any previously recommended company as well. So if I click on Taiwan Semiconductor, you'll see, and I open up the PDF, it's also a PDF report that should pop up on your screen in a moment right here. There you go. And you'll see that it is somewhat the same looking as the Select. So as I mentioned, this month's recommendation is Taiwan Semiconductor, and then the alternative stock selection is J.M. Smucker Company. So we're going to give you, and let me blow this up a little bit, so hopefully you can see it a little better here. If we scroll through this just fairly quickly for time's sake, again, if you're interested, we can send you a sample. We're going to get to this point first, and here's the featured stocks portfolio, the Value Line Select Dividend and Income and Growth featured stocks portfolio. And you'll see here, we're going to list names of the companies, okay, what the recent price is, quarterly dividend, ex-dividend date, and so forth. These companies comprise this dividend, income, and growth portfolio. And again, we do keep performance on that. It's available on a monthly basis. If I continue to scroll through here, here's the alternative stocks portfolio. So you're really getting two portfolios in one publication. And we're going to, as I mentioned before, there is a difference between the two. And again, you can see it for yourself by reaching out to us, and we'll send you the sample. But you're going to get two portfolios really rolled up into one. So you can see different names, comparison. In this alternative stock portfolio, I have names like Paychex, Qualcomm, Starbucks. And if I go back a screen to the other one, you'll see there's names in the featured portfolio like Novartis, Oracle, US Bancorp. So you can see there's a little bit of a differences in the companies that we choose for each portfolio. We're going to take a deep dive, as I mentioned. So we'll start with the featured stock, and they'll take a deep dive into this company. So we give you a lot of information of why we think this is a good company to highlight. And for those of you who are familiar with Value Line, instead of that one-page padded design, you're going to see a real in-depth report. Okay. So I'm going to shut down this one now, and we're going to go now to our last one. And I didn't mention in the beginning, but hopefully you saw from the invite, when we are done, I'm going to jump into one specific company. Each month on these webinars, our research department provides one recommendation of a specific company that we think you should take a look at. And this is reserved just for the attendees of our webinars. And we'll do that in a moment after we look at our last select portfolio, which is the Special Situation Service. And again, by coming to find ideas and right here, special situations, this is the third portfolio we offer in our select series. I will mention, if you are a Research Center subscriber, you do get this special situations portfolio in the research center. So there's two places you can get this. You can get this in the Pro Equity Research Center, and you could also get this in the Research Center. The differences between those two real quickly is the Research Center also includes options, ETFs, so other asset classes, where the Pro Equity Research Center obviously is what it says, it's all equity based, our equity research plus the equity portfolios. So hopefully that's not too confusing, but again, just to jump back on ValuelinePro.com, you'll be able to go see all the products that we offer and do a little comparison to what's out there. So finally, again, let's jump, we're in the special situation service. Just like the other two, this is a monthly portfolio. So each month we will update this. Right here is the special situations, the current monthly report. If I click on that, let's say open this up. Here we go. Let me slide it over. Hopefully you can see this up here. So this is the special situation service here that we're taking a look at. This is a little different. We're going to give you a little economic overview first of what's going on in the world before we actually go into it. We're going to tell you about the updates of the portfolio, obviously, and then we're going to actually go into it. Now, within the special situation service, you also get two, let's call them sub-portfolios rolled into one. You'll have the aggressive stock portfolio, which are stocks with above average growth potential. And if you look on your screen, you can see names like Etsy, LendingTree, Proofpoint. These are above average growth potential companies. And if I scroll a little further, you're going to get into the conservative stock portfolio. Okay, these are names like Exponent and Landmark Partners and Comfort Systems. All right, but let me pause here and give you a little bit of background on what we're looking at. For the special situations service, as I mentioned, each month, we're going to give you one aggressive, one conservative stock recommendation. These are mostly small, or actually all from the database of small and mid-cap equities. So you'll notice these names look different from the ones we saw in the other portfolios. For the aggressive selection, this service is going to look for companies that have the potential to generate strong earnings growth over the next 3 to 5 years. The service is going to offer a more aggressive manager's recommendation on emerging growth stocks with exceptional long-term capital gains potential. Now, the goal of the Value Line Situation Service is to help investors create a diversified small and mid-cap portfolio that includes aggressive companies, also with the substantial capital appreciation that can be balanced by conservative companies that operate in relatively stable industries. So that's the situation where you would use the special situation service. And if I just continue to scroll on your screen, you'll see we'll give you, again, portfolio updates, what's going on, recent dividends, and so on and so forth. And I won't take up your time going through all this report. You can see it looks pretty much similar to the others we went over. All right. So again, that is the select series of portfolios. You have your dividend income and growth, you have your select, and you have your special situations. One we did not talk about, because I actually did a webinar specifically on this one last month, was we also have a select ETF portfolio. Same concept, monthly ETF recommendations. So if you are interested in ETFs, we do have one of those as well. So at this point, I'm going to conclude the part of the presentation that talks about that portfolios, and we're going to take a dive into this month's hand-picked recommendation from our research department. So if I come up here to the search bar, hopefully for those who are users now know this, and if you're a prospective customer, this is where you go to bring up a company report. I am going to put up the ticker DBX, and that's Dropbox. And this is this month's special recommendation for our webinar audience. And I'm just going to go over a couple of prepared remarks of why this might be a company you might want to take a look at. So with the United States still reeling from the coronavirus pandemic, Great Depression level unemployment, and severely weakened economic activity,
it can be tough to rationalize the fact that most major indexes are trading near or at their all-time highs. The widely cited disconnect between Wall Street and Main Street has many investors wondering if the economy is really normalizing or if stocks may be getting ahead of themselves. For now, optimism over historic federal stimulus packages, state economies reopening, and pent-up consumer demand is outweighing fear over a second wave of the COVID-19 infections and potentially weak consumer spending over the long term. Although many stocks are more expensive than they have ever been from a valuation standpoint, there are still opportunities out there, and the Value Line Research Department is going to recommend that our professional subscribers take a look at Dropbox. Again, that ticker is DBX. And before I move on, I'll just bring up the screen here that shows the 3 to 5 year projections. Here we have the price, the appreciation potential, and the annual return. So Dropbox specifically offers a cloud-based file hosting service that allows users to store all their documents in one location and share them with others. Files are securely synchronized to their servers, making them easy to access from virtually anywhere, including personal computers and smartphones. The company uses a freemium business model where users get a free account with a set storage size and are then offered paid subscriptions with more capacity and additional features. Dropbox works with collaboration offerings from Microsoft, Google, Slack, and Zoom, enabling it to unify contests across platforms. The company has roughly 600 million users at the end of 2019, 14.3 million of which were paying customers, which is up 13% year over year. The company is in solid financial condition with relatively low debt of $138 million and high cash reserves of $1.1 billion. It generates meaningful cash flow, and the vast majority of its revenues are recurring in nature. Annual recurring revenue reached $1.82 billion last year, reflecting year-over-year growth of 19%. The subscription model insulates the company from downside risk related to deteriorating economic conditions to a degree. Now, before I conclude, let me pull up a different module you can take a look at while we get the financial strength grade rating up here and some information. Demand for the platform should continue to grow as teams become more flexible and global. The recent increase in work from home activity related to the coronavirus pandemic will likely benefit Dropbox in the years ahead. Some industry experts predict that 25 to 30% of the US workforce will continue to work remotely several days a week after the pandemic ends, as many prefer not to commute and are more productive at home than in the office. The company continues to record impressive results. At first quarter, revenue rose 18% year over year, surpassing expectations and prompting management to raise guidance. In fact, Dropbox has beat Wall Street's expectations in all 9 quarters that has been publicly traded. We are foreseeing solid gains for both revenue and earnings this year and next. So, in conclusion, although the shares have rallied in recent months, they still have a reasonable valuation, and the forward price to earnings multiple is around half the level reached 1 year ago. We think the shares offer compelling investment appeal for risk-tolerant investors. So that concludes those prepared remarks regarding Dropbox. Again, each month for our professional webinars, we do offer one specific recommendation. If you're interested in getting those prepared remarks, you can reach out to us as well, and we can provide them. So that will conclude today's webinar. Again, go to valuelinepro.com to find information about the portfolios we had. Also go to the customer service portal that you see right here on your screen. You can go to contact us. If you're not a current customer, to reach out. If you are, just contact your institutional specialist. Again, my name is Jason Weisberg, EVP here at Value Line. I want to thank you for taking time with us this morning and wish you a very successful investing the rest of the day. Take care.